All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Column. Rich Walsh, and if you need anything done, a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. They're the best in the business. An easy number to remember, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. They not only do roofs, they do siding, they do gutters, they do basically anything you want in the Pittsburgh area. That's why they're number one. Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Give me a call right now, 412-575-2600 is the number on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. We're talking about the Buccos, the U.S. Open. Those are the main things I want to talk about today, so give me a call. By the way, I screen phone calls. We have caller ID. I will not take any anonymous or blocked phone calls. We're trying to keep this a clean show. We're writing phone numbers down, so if you plan to prank me, we'll have your number, and we're going to turn it in. All right, let's go to Bob in Indiana. How you doing, Bob?
Hey, Rich, thanks for taking my call. First of all, happy Father's Day to you.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You too.
Thank you very much. Hey, two things I wanted to talk about. One is this role of blocking the plate or not blocking the plate. Twice in the last couple of weeks now, Pirates have kind of been shafted.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the calls are right or wrong, but I don't think nobody knows what the calls are, what the proper call is, in other words. And so it just lets everybody in limbo. They need to get this defined because it's going to cause some big game somewhere, maybe a playoff game or something for somebody, and then, heads are going to roll. But, the other thing, too, the ownership of the Pirates is cheap, C-H-E-A-P, and it is not going to change ever since years ago when A.J. Burnett went to Philadelphia because they wouldn't give him some extra money to keep him on. And After that point, I was done because that was when they had chances to win. That was their best shot at it. And whenever they didn't sign him for a few extra million, it just it gives you no hope. And all these guys are saying we're going to, build up the farm system. It's like, so what? You build it up, but whenever they get to where you can't afford them, you get rid of them anyway. And it's the bottom line. They're just cheap.
And you hold on to those guys sometimes. One of my biggest problems with this, on the guys too long, and then you can't trade them. Look at Tyler Glass now. They probably could have got a boatload for him a few years ago when he was the #1 prospect in the minors. He's doing all right now, but look, the last 2 years he hasn't really done too much in the majors, and he dominates in Indianapolis. But I think he's starting to find his way, and maybe it'll work out for him. But
it takes too long, though.
They covet these prospects, and they either, like you said, they're either too good and then they leave and you can't afford them, or the other end, they stay in the minors, or you can't trade them when they're actually not good. Neil Huntington hasn't done a great job of drafting. I mean, I don't know what grade you'd give him, but it's not an A+, that's for sure.
No, it's not even a C+. It's really not, and it's so frustrating as a fan because I've been watching the Pirates since I was a little kid, and that's a good 50 years. And to watch what they had at one time, and you always knew the guys who were coming, they gave 100%, and then you see these guys now, they get a ground ball, they take 2 steps and don't even run it out and walk back there. It's just so frustrating to see the money they're getting paid. And there's no hustle. There's no, when they make an error, they just, whoop-de-doo. It's just so frustrating to watch this as a fan. And the thing is, too, when you say about the Pirates getting, as myself as a fan, when it gets to where you say, okay, I want to go to a game and watch them, you want to support your team, but if you're supporting your team, you're also supporting ownership. And I don't want to support ownership because they're disappointing me right now. So you're kind of in a catch-22. If you go, you want to root for the Pirates, but yet you don't want to give them
how do they win you back, Bob? How do they win you back?
Start getting some money and spending this money. I mean, they got $20 million floating around they got from Cole and McCutcheon that they never used for pitching.
Yeah.
And they say, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We need to save money. But the money they save, they just throw it away or put it somewhere. Yeah. They don't put it back into the team until they start showing us that they're, actually going to start taking that money and say, hey, there's a couple guys here. We're going to take a chance and sign him a little bit longer term, like Meadows. You can see he's going to maybe be half decent. Throw some money at him, invest it in him, and keep him around for a while. Don't say, well, in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be worth so much money, we can't afford him. We'll let him go, and we'll have another guy that's up and coming. They're always going to be up and coming, but they're never going to stay. And until they can keep them and make them stay, give them, entice them with a few bucks, they're not going to stay. You're never going to have a team that's going to be competitive.
Hey, thanks a lot, Bob. I really appreciate your phone call. Thanks for calling tonight. And baseball has a real problem, a real attendance problem. They got to figure it out. And I think, the one way they can figure things out is a salary cap, because there's only a handful of teams that are really good. and then you have everyone else, and that's why people aren't going. I mean, when teams like the Pirates and other teams are basically out of it in June, what reason other than a nice ballpark and a nice day to take your kids do you have to go to the game? And I think that's a real problem in baseball. The attendance is down, I think, over 10%. In Pittsburgh, it's close to being pushing 30%, 20 to 30, somewhere in that range. So you can't tell me that there isn't a problem with baseball. And if they don't address it in the next few years or the next labor agreement, this is going to be a huge problem in the future. All right, let's go out to Mike out in Breezewood. How you doing, Mike?
Yes, good evening. If the Pirates didn't go all in 2015, which is when they had their best chance, they're never going to. Management will never spend money.
I agree with you.
Clint Hurdle, as a manager, the media loves him in Pittsburgh, but he has never gotten more out of a team than what they're capable of. It seems to me they're always underachieving. And as far as Huntington's drafting, he might not draft the best, but they don't develop players well at all. They've had some of the best rated one of the better farm systems for several years in a row. These players never develop into big league ball players. They're always just a year or two away. There's problems from top to bottom, from the minor leagues on up to the top with the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on a lot of those things. I like Clint Hurdle. I don't think it's his fault. Maybe, I always say maybe 5, 6, 7 games are a manager's fault. And you could blame him for a few games this year, questionable decisions with the bullpen and who they put in, and bringing Vasquez back maybe too early and him blowing those games. Maybe Friday you can night. Question him here on those.
Friday night in that ball game, why did Austin Meadows sit in a day after?
I was just getting to that. The whole four outfield rotation.
Inning, why in the second inning with the 8-hitter up and a runner on second and 2 out, do you put the number 8 hitter on to throw to the pitcher with 2 outs in the second inning? I'm not saying that he's the poorest manager, but he does not get the most out of his team. And that's the kind of manager the Pirates need, somebody that can get more than what they're really capable of.
I thought he got the most out of his team in 13, 14, in those years. I don't know if he's getting the most out of his team now, maybe not in the last month.
The caller before you brought up not hustling to first base.
Yeah.
That's on him, because that happened throughout his entire tenure in Pittsburgh. They don't run out. They don't run hard to first. They stand there and look at the ball, and you make the excuse, well, everybody does that in baseball. Well, maybe they do, but he's responsible for the Pirates.
Yeah.
He needs to make sure it doesn't happen there.
Yeah, it's a handful of guys.
The team they have to go 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a handful of guys on the Pirates, and I don't think they need a change there right now. I mean, the ownership, it all comes down from the ownership. I mean, that's I think where all the directives come from. So, if you're going to blame Huntington, I mean, he's taking orders from the owner. He only has so much money to spend and only can, draft guys that they think they can sign and this and that. And same with Coonley. I mean, I have to put the onus on the ownership with the Pirates. I mean, there's a reason they have the 4th lowest payroll in Major League Baseball. There's a reason they're $50 million under the league average. I mean, that's ridiculous, in my opinion. There's got to be some kind of ceiling. There's got to be a floor. There has to be a salary cap. Or, I think Major League Baseball is going to turn into, 8 teams. And then if you're not in one of those cities, no one's going to go to the games anymore. Major League Baseball has to solve that problem. Or you're just going to have teams like the Pirates that are just cashing $50 million checks. If I'm the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and all these other teams, I'm upset giving the Pirates $50 million for just being mediocre. All right, we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls. Give me a call. We have a couple lines open. 412-575-2600 is the number. You can always tweet me at Richie Walsh. Back in a couple minutes.